Welcome to the AAPC podcast as we count down to conference. We'll be taking over the channel as we confess the magic, the mayhem, and the meticulous planning behind unforgettable conferences. We're your hosts, Maggie and Sophia, and as the countdown to HEALTHCON continues, this is episode 2, and we're diving into why education matters.
From the power of networking that leaves you re-energized and inspired to the intentional planning that turns big ideas into memorable moments, we're joined today by Jaci, Kipreos, and Christopher Chandler to share their perspectives on the true value of conferences.
And whether you're a HEALTHCON regular, considering your first event, or just curious how backstage chaos turns into onstage magic, this is your all-access pass.
Let's step behind the curtain.
Thank you both for joining us. We're really excited to kind of talk about why education matters and how it ties into conferences and the value that it brings to our conferences. I know that you both are on the education committee, so I would really love some background on how you got involved with that, what your role is on the education committee. And yeah, Jaci, if you want to tell us first about how you got involved with the education committee and what you do.
Sure. I got involved back in, I think it was 2011. That was my first full year on the NAB. And at that point, it wasn't as organized as we are now. And we weren't using the skill sets that we use now. Nothing was very organized, but we got it done. So for me, seeing things from 2011 to where we are now, heading into HEALTHCON 2026, I can say I'm really proud of the growth. We have just worked so hard to establish more what we call buckets. I don't know what word we use, but buckets of education. We've expanded that to try to make sure that all members have been represented in these conferences, and we've expanded our speakers. And I think I'm proudest most of the fact that we're not using the same people every time. We know our members love certain speakers. We know that, and we do our best to get them. But I feel like we're working really hard to expand that and give more people an opportunity. And I'm responsible for audit. That's my main part, but we do work as a team to help out in other areas as well. Christopher, to you.
Yeah, so the first conference I spoke at was in 2017, and it was the first HEALTHCON I had ever attended. I had been to other conferences, but not HEALTHCON. And I loved speaking so much and sharing the knowledge that I had and all the studying that I had been doing so much that I just started applying it every year. And some years I got it and some years I didn't. And I started working closely with Peggy Stilley, who was on the education committee at the time, and I would try and help her. She was over the specialty tracks and I was over surgery in my job. So I knew people, so I would try and help her find people to speak at these conferences. And I'd vet them out if they were on my team and make sure they had, good presentation skills and things like that. And when Peggy was done with the education committee, that's when the education committee reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to take her spot. And so I was very honored and thrilled to do that because I already enjoyed so much working with her on just trying to find people who would have great expertise to share with the attendees at HEALTHCON. And so I've been now on the education committee for 4 years. I think this is my 4th year, and I'm over the specialty track now. So all the surgeries and the behavioral health and the specialties, the crazy gray areas that happen there, I get to help find the topics and the people who are experts at them.
And he's good at it. Christopher has an amazing network.
Well, thank you.
He does, and he's very good. I think what helps us as a team on this education committee is we're honest with each other. We're very honest about the information. If I pick a topic of all the things that have come in, and maybe it's Christopher or someone else on the team might say, Jack, that's a good topic, but right now it's probably not as pertinent as this. Would you mind maybe doing this? We're very open and we work together. We're not like, this is my track, you can't touch it. So it makes it very nice. And what's helpful is when we get a lot of applications in a lot of different areas, because that's what happens sometimes is we don't get enough in a particular area. And then we start finding people on our own. And then that becomes like, then we're going to the same people all the time.
What responsibility do you feel the committee feels when selecting sessions?
For me, I think one of the main responsibilities is making sure that we are covering relevant and important topics that are happening now. They're the things that we could just cover over and over and over, but they're old. but then it's making sure that we know what's happening in the industry now. What are the new codes coming out, or the revisions, or what are the disputes between payers or AMA and societies and CMS and societies, and just making sure that we know what's going on so that we can pick what's going to be most impactful and most helpful to the attendees.
And for me, I agree with everything Christopher said, that it's a huge responsibility and we all take it very seriously to give education, because this is what people come for. It may not look like it when we're having so much fun, but we really do show up for education. The other thing that becomes very important, and I want everyone to really understand this, we do want, it's HealthCon, especially HealthCon, we want top of the line speakers. So when we ask for a video, it's not because we don't trust you. It's we don't know you. So give us a little piece of your wow. So, and show us that you know something, because we want someone that can stand up there and deliver. So that's our responsibility. Someone that can deliver a topic that is now, or one that is just so important to help you in your day-to-day business.
And we know that people are either spending their own money, or their company went out on the ledge to fund them coming to these conferences. And we don't take that lightly. I mean, people spending their own hard-earned money, that's a big deal, and we want to make sure they're getting their money's worth. And so what Jaci said about getting really good speakers, we've all been in the presentation where you're so interested in the topic and then the person just reads from their PowerPoint slide. And it's so boring. And we try to avoid that. We don't want that kind of thing. We want engaged speakers who are there, and they're dynamic, they're engaged, they're well-spoken, they're experienced, and they are experts in what they're speaking on. That's what we look for. And that's what we want for that's what we want for ourselves. I attend these as well, and I'm excited to attend a lot of these topics. And that's definitely what we want for the attendees.
I think for anyone listening that maybe doesn't know what our education committee is, maybe hasn't attended a HealthCon, Grace could just go over just like the high level view of what our committee is, but just a little more in like how you guys end up shaping the conference program.
Sure. We start with applications, and they come in, and we have someone who puts these together in a beautiful little packet for us, all the applications that come in. So when you get that email that we are looking for applications, they all come to the full committee. We have an opportunity to review them. All have our tracks. Everybody on the education committee has a track, and it looks like a big Excel spreadsheet, and we can start moving applications into our track based on topic, based on speaker. Our person who works with us, Tori at AAPC, if a person puts in an application, we don't have information as far as that they've spoken before, that's when she'll request a video. And then we start going through the applications, and we'll start individually. And then when we meet as a group via Zoom, then we start working as a team on that.
And it is broad. There's, hundreds of applications that come in.
Yes, many, many applications. And then we rely on Sophie and Maggie to get us rooms at the conference site to put all these things. And then as a group, we put them where they belong. But I'm just going to put in one little word right now. But I am imploring anyone who's never spoken before and really wants to and send in that video, really think about where you are. Please don't do it in the bathroom of a hotel. Don't do it in your bedroom. Don't do it sitting on your bed. Please don't. Think about where you are. Think about what you're wearing. Think about the fact that we can see what's behind you. And pull it together, because we see people that we feel like are just right there. And so think about it like a resume and do that, because we are looking for speakers, begging for speakers.
For a speaker that's interested in applying but has never had experience, what advice would you give to them to help them get into the speaker circuit? Somebody who feels like they could speak on a topic but hasn't spoken before, but if they want to get in, and how do they get their foot in the door to become a speaker?
One of the things I've always recommended is go speak at a local chapter or several. Especially I'm in Utah, so I'm in an area where there are several local chapters within 30 miles of me. And that's a huge benefit, because when I was first starting out, I could present at numerous local chapters. But if you're in an area where you're the only local chapter, that's fine. Practice, present to that group, find a topic that you know is important or relevant, and find a unique aspect that you have on presenting it, or a unique twist that your own twist that you can put on it, whether it's your personality, your history behind it, whatever it may be. But yeah, speak at the local chapters, because we'll often look at the speaker history. And if it's for the National Health Con, we like to see at least local chapters and preferably regional. If you have presented at your local chapters, apply to a regional health con. Those are in the fall every year. And that is a great place. It's smaller, but it's a great place to get your feet a little more wet, to really try and dive in there a little bit more, start meeting people, come and meet us at these conferences. If you're attending and you've never spoken, find Jaci, find me, find the others, come talk to us and tell us, hey, I'm interested in speaking. What should I do? These are the topics I think would be good. What feedback do you have for me on that? That kind of stuff I think is really helpful for both the speaker and for us as we're trying to find people. It's, oh, hey, this person came up to me last conference or this person reached out to me and said they've been speaking in their local chapters and had great scores or great feedback. So that's what I recommend.
Another thing we want to remind everybody is it doesn't have to be the biggest topic. Sometimes, like Chris was saying, something niche, one little thing can be so important. So depending on the specialty you're in, if it's something unique, and when we see that application and we might reach out and say, hey, I love this. Could you talk about this as well? And let's fill up the whole time. We will. If we like your little niche, but we think maybe it won't fill 75 minutes, then we're going to help you get there as well. But definitely come meet us and talk to us and, let us help you as well.
Kind of going off of that, how do you as the committee identify which topics and little niches are most relevant to the professionals currently and what trends you want to see talked about?
We're really fortunate in our committee to have a little bit of everything already. We have people who are inpatient facility, outpatient facility, compliance, people who are administrators. We have auditors, consultants, and so we're out there. And then, of course, we have the back of AAPC, and Ray Marie is out there. She definitely is getting information. So we get it from a lot of different places. And then once in a while, an application will come in and be like, wow, what a great topic. Maybe we hadn't thought of that.
One of the things for me, if I'm attending another conference and I see that a certain topic is presented on a couple times, I went to a conference once. This was about 4 years ago, and half the presentations were on AI in the revenue cycle. And so obviously we knew that was coming. But then once we started seeing some applications trickling in about AI and coding, I had seen a ton of presentations from this other conference of, okay, this is what's relevant. This is what people are saying about it. And I could filter through those presentations on the applications that we were getting on. Okay, well, this doesn't seem as relevant because it was hardly talked about in this conference that was so AI focused, or things like that. So for me, getting out there and attending other conferences has been really beneficial to see what are other groups talking about and what's being seen as important in the industry. And then I like to just follow the guidelines too. I mean, what are the updates in coding? What's the OIG focusing on this year? Stuff like that. And so when you're looking for a topic as a speaker, those are the kinds of things you could be looking for as well. And if you can't attend other conferences, you can look them up and see what topics are being spoken about at these other conferences and see that, okay, at this healthcare conference or at this medical group conference or this revenue conference, whatever it is, this topic has come up 3 times. And I know this topic, so I'm going to submit to AAPC that I want to speak on that.
How do you balance those foundational topics with like emerging new topics coming in? Because I feel like both are important. You got to meet on those foundational tips and tricks and whatnot, but you have to be up on the game on what's changing, right? How do you balance meeting both and finding middle ground?
Well, the end and everything is filled out, and then we look at it and start deciding and go back through the applications as we're going. I think for me, at least in my track, I fill it with what I think is most important. Then I go back through the applications and see, well, maybe we need to bring this back in. It's still important. It's hard. None of this is easy to do. Again, like Christopher was saying, First and foremost is education. We want things that people will want to hear about, whether it's a topic that always gets attention or it's something that's new and happening. And some of these new and happening things are very niche and really won't fill 75 minutes. So then what can I add to this, even for that as well. But it's not easy and it's an ongoing process as we do that.
Favorite things about these conferences is meeting the attendees and talking to them. And I can't believe I need this reminder, but each conference I'm reminded this is a lot of people's first conference that they're attending. And so the foundational stuff that we've all heard 100 times, a lot of these people haven't heard it at a conference before. And so to me, that reminds me, all right, let's not just go with, I don't know if you can call anything flashy in coding, but the new and flashy things, right? We can't just go with that. There are people attending for the first time and they need either the education or they need the validation that what they've been learning is correct. For me, that's been a big thing is that a lot of people will attend these conferences and I'll ask them, did you learn anything new? And they'll say no, but it reemphasized that what I've been doing or that I've been teaching my physicians correct. And that's huge. And so having that validation of those foundational coding guidelines and the application of them or the interpretation of them, it's a lot more important than I think sometimes we give credit for because we hear about it often.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you ensure sessions appeal to professionals at different experience levels?
But I think we aim for the national HealthCon. We're aiming for people at a certain level, right? It's obviously we have those foundational things for some of those who are attending for the first time, but usually we're looking for stuff that is, especially those presenting, they've been doing it for a little bit. They know this stuff pretty well. And these are a little more complicated things. Like you said, there's got to be a blend and a mix and a balance.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think our philosophy is it's hard to know if we're correct because not everybody fills out their surveys with a lot of information. So we take any kind of feedback. It's important to us. It helps us in our committee. The expectation, the philosophy is, as Christopher says, with the thought that HealthCon normally brings in either the first time people, if I'm going to do it the first time, I'm going all out HealthCon, but mostly it's those people who are coming back with that they've been in the game longer. So they're going to have those more difficult questions. They're going to have more of a expectation from us as well. So yes, we up the ante with HealthCon for that reason. That's the anticipation. Still giving those enough fundamentals for who are coming at the first time. And then, we do our best with our speakers to ask that they're very detailed in their description so someone will know if this is for someone more advanced or someone starting out. We hope that the description will help those people out as well.
Going back to that comment on how important feedback is, when you get session feedback, how much of a role does that play in shaping future sessions?
It's important because let me put in a plug here. If you're attending one of the conferences, please fill out the feedback. It helps us, but it also helps the speaker. I've presented to, 150 people and 9 of them submitted the feedback. And I wanted more. I wanted more feedback, more input. And, if you get 100 5 stars, that feels good, right? Or 105 and 4 stars, that feels good. And 9 is just kind of, okay, yay, but I want more. And as a speaker, I also want to just keep getting better. And so knowing if it landed well, because there have been times that I've gotten the feedback of, he was a great speaker, the topic was nothing new. They want something a little bit more new in this case or things like that. So that kind of feedback I think is so important. So if you are attending, please submit the feedback. It's helpful for all of us involved. And it helps us know if, okay, a speaker came and do we want that speaker to come back again? Well, their scores were fantastic. So absolutely, people loved this speaker. Bring them back.
And it's true. The feedback is so important for the speaker as well. Sometimes it's like, I wish she had spent more time on this. Okay, good. Next time I'll do that. For us on the education committee, we look at scores. We do look at comments. It's very important. And we scoot around at conference and we hop into as many sessions as we can. If someone walks up to us and says, hey, that session was great, I'd love to see them again, I'm like, put it in the survey, but we'll make note of it as well. So we take all of it very seriously.
Yeah, I know for Maggie and I as well, every time we read all of those feedback too, because it helps us understand what people are experiencing in the value that they're taking away from the conference. And I think that there's so much more value in a conference than people who haven't attended really understand. I'm curious of what you guys think the importance of the value of the education is in shaping the conference and why we hold ourselves to such a higher standard. Because what makes HealthCon's session selection so much different, because what I hear from the feedback is HealthCon is not like other conferences. We have top of the line education. We have real life takeaways, actual things people can walk away with and apply in their life. I assume that comes from you all and the work that you're doing in the education committee to select and build sessions that actually are applicable in real life scenarios. And how do you know when you're reading an application that that's going to be the takeaway?
I have spoken at various other conferences, and I've attended other conferences like Christopher has as well. And I have to say, we are different. We really spread, I mean, the number of tracks we have, number one. The process as a speaker is so much easier than anybody else ever. It's a very clear-cut process. If you follow the instructions, we do work that much harder to bring it to that. And I think it shows from over the years. I remember my very first conference, and I think it was 98. And it was like, wow, I have never been able to talk to this many people about something that I do that nobody else understands. And it was just like vibrating the energy. But of course, that was before social media. So I was meeting people. And I think the networking we have, the opportunity to network, the things that y'all put together for us to do, I think that's what makes us a head and shoulders better. We have such an opportunity for networking. We listen to people. They love the panel sessions where they can ask questions. We added more panel sessions because people just love that stuff. We do listen and we provide more opportunity for networking, work type, good networking than I get anywhere else.
Yeah, the networking cannot be understated and the importance of that with a conference. I think that is about 50% of why people go to conferences. It's to learn and to network. And then for me, when I'm looking at applications, Maggie, I think it was you that said treating it like a job application. I look for that. I look for someone who it's clear they took this seriously. We've had people who have submitted applications and you can tell they just did it really quickly, flippantly. We're not interested in that kind of thing. We want people who are taking it seriously. They want to present. They want to be professional. They want to take it as seriously as we do. And so I look at that with the applicants for speaking the same way as I would for someone who's applying for a job. Is it clear that they know what they're doing? Is it clear that they took time and consideration to create a good application? If we request a video, are they submitting it timely, or are we having to ask them 2 times or 3 times for the video? If we're having to do that, then that doesn't feel like they're serious about speaking at this conference. And so I look for people who genuinely want to present and are serious about doing a good job.
Were there typos in that application? Those were,
Yeah.
that sort of information. And
You've seen that.
we don't want to let
And
down
I
our
think,
members. Yeah.
right.
ahead.
And I think you've even seen, they'll write the job description with AI, which I have no problem with that. Use AI as a cool tool to help you do your job better. I love that. But they will just copy it and paste it. And you'll see at the bottom where they didn't take out the part that says this was written by AI and please
Yeah.
review before you blah, blah, blah. We've seen that, right? And so it's like, pay attention to those little details. If you're going to use AI to write your job description, awesome, but read it before you submit it. Because if not, then I can tell that you didn't take it as seriously as I would like you to, or you weren't as
Yeah.
careful, or are there going to be mistakes in your presentation, typos in your presentations, incorrect
Right.
guidelines in your presentation.
Right.
All of those are little hints as
And
part
can
of
you really speak to the topic if you're asked a question in the
Right.
session, if you needed
Exactly.
the support to,
No,
because I
if
think
AI
that's
had to write what it's about. Again, I
yeah.
approve of AI,
Hey, let me just
but
ask Copilot real quick
I
while
know
you're up here on
I've
the
got an
phone.
answer here. Boop. No.
Copilot says,
Yeah. Which it's a great tool, but it's a jumping off
awesome
point,
tool.
right? Like
Right.
they're really beneficial to help kind of like help you rephrase your own language
Right.
is how I've always used it.
But you have to have
Yeah,
some piece of you in there somewhere. It's like I tell providers, don't
some
copy and paste.
expertise
You
to the
gotta have
topic.
uniqueness. You gotta throw in something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say this. People get out of our conferences, what they put into it. We do our part very seriously. We do. If there's any question about it, I'm here, Christopher's here to tell you, we take this extremely seriously. We look for top of the line speakers. We look for great topics. We do our best to balance it out. You pay for it. Your company pays for it. You can get everything out of this, or you can call it a vacation. It's your choice. But our part, we're doing it. And if it's something that you're like, I didn't really get that much out of it, fill out the survey. We'll make it better. We will make it better. But when I'm a speaker or I'm in a room and people are shopping on Amazon or going through their Facebook feed, I can do everything I can to get you that topic. It's a two-way street. And I don't mean that to be rude at all. I'm saying this is your conference. And that's what we always, this is yours. This is mine. I'm a member. I attend. I've been going since 98. I attend. I expect things, but I get out of it what I put into it.
I think that, you know, as facilitators, we can get space together, we can add food, we can add drinks, anything to like make it as comfortable as possible.
Sure.
But if you're just sitting in a room empty and not talking to each other, then what was the point of coming? So like you have to put in a little bit of effort to get the most out of anything. But at a conference specifically, you can walk into a room with 2,000 people who are doing the exact same thing. But if you're not going to walk up to them and talk to them, you're not going to get anything from it. So there definitely is a two-way street there.
And we make it so fun. It is. I tell you, Sophia, since she has joined us, this conference is just amazing. So hands to you and your team. You're making it fun,
You know.
enjoyable, and so great to be there.
I
Yeah.
just like to party myself, so I'm going to throw a party anywhere I go.
Why not? I do too. We all do.
That's how
I
I
like
got
to
in
dance.
this role. That's my only real experience. We're going to do some salsa dancing in Dallas. It's going to be great.
What do you think, Christopher? Would that go over?
Sounds good. I'm gonna bring my cowboy hat and
There
my
you go.
bolo tie for this upcoming
Yeah.
show, and my cowboy
I'm good
boots. I'm
for it.
ready to go.
Dallas,
No, but
Dallas,
there is
Dallas
like
dancing.
genuine reason to have fun at a conference. You know, you're going to remember it more if you had fun. And like the
Yes.
parts that are applicable to your real life are going to stick around longer if
Sure.
you really enjoyed your time. So
It's
I
true.
do
And
think that there is a lot of importance to that. And I'm a firm believer that you have to keep people fat and happy. You got to feed them
God,
and
yes.
make sure
And
that they're
caffeinated.
hydrated. And
Very caffeinated.
yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Very
Caffeinated
caffeinated.
and
You're
watered.
not going to enjoy yourself if you're hangry, thirsty. Like you can't
You
take
won't know
anything
what the
away,
speaker
you
is.
know?
You got to
Yes.
enjoy the
Yeah.
topic. You got to enjoy it. Make the most of it. We're all working very hard. And I'm not saying that to pat ourselves on the back at all. We're doing it for the members purely. I wouldn't be on this committee if I was not totally behind all of this, you know, and
I think
I feel a responsibility for it.
I
Yeah.
also think that something really special about AAPC and what they've done with supporting conferences is that we see it as a true benefit to the members. And our heart is in putting on a good experience and a good event so that members feel a sense of community when they're a part of it. And coming to a conference, the education obviously is always top of the line because that's what our baseline of AAPC is. There is a deeper sense of community that I think just gets so broadened and taken seriously when you attend conferences that really puts you in the joy of what we do and experiencing it with people who do what we do too.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of Dallas, and then I know we just had applications for Seattle. What are some of the major challenges or trends in the industry that influence the sessions you guys have lined up for HealthCon?
I mean, we mentioned AI, and that's a big
Yeah.
one. And it's certainly a balance between we don't want to overload people with just too many. I think we got a lot of AI applications, just AI coding, AI revenue cycle, AI in your EMRs. Like we got a lot of those both for Dallas and for Seattle. And some of them, we chose a couple of them that were really interesting, really applicable. And it was clear that that person had a lot of experience. So that's one that's exciting and on everybody's mind right now.
Another thing we're looking at, we recognize that everybody is busy. no matter what part you play in that revenue cycle, no matter where you are, everybody's busy. There's so many different changes. Denials are getting crazy. We're looking at topics that help people manage things better. So, like for those administrators that show up or a manager of a company, we're looking at ways to help them manage. We're trying to find, we had some great speakers put in applications for tools. Things to manage this, how to make this a little bit easier, how to use Excel or spreadsheets to manage this, to help you get to your bottom line or help to get to your next step a little bit quicker because everybody's just busy. So there was a great amount of applications for helping to streamline challenges and responsibilities.
Yeah, for Dallas, we have a leadership track, which we hadn't done
Yes,
before.
which is always
I'm
great.
really excited about that one. Just hearing from leaders and their styles and what they found to be helpful and techniques and things like that. That's one that I'm really excited about for Dallas.
Yeah, it'll be the first time we've done that where we
I
think
like
it's
it.
going to be a really good add to our agenda moving forward to
It's
And even
important
if you're
because we
not,
do have those.
yeah, and even if you're not a leader, just going and learning leadership techniques of just being able to help, like Jack was saying, manage things better and stuff like that. But just if you're
Skills.
on a team, you can be a leader without being an official title of a
Mhm.
leader type of thing. So yeah, that one I'm really excited about. I think it'll be very popular.
Yeah.
When you're picking your sessions, don't forget to go to places that you don't know anything about. It's a chance to learn. So that's why we spread out so much. So, like Christopher's point, if you don't have to be a leader to go to leadership to learn a topic,
You can choose sessions to attend that are in the area that you work in to learn more, but also attend those leadership sessions so that you can further your career into leadership. You might not be in that place right now, but there's always those opportunities for advancement that are given at HealthCon through networking and through sessions. So that's huge.
Next question was going to be what advice would you give attendees when choosing sessions? You've got 8 opportunities to pick sessions, right? So pick something that is foundational for what you're doing and then also pick something that you're interested in and maybe something where you see where your career could go.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I don't think I have much more to add to that other than that be willing to be influenced as well. Like go find these topics that, even if you know everything about it, maybe they have something that you don't or experience that'll help you, things like that.
if you work somewhere and they are able to send more than just you, don't attend the same session as somebody else. Spread out.
Yeah, great.
If you're the only one from your office or establishment that's going, ask everybody, here's the agenda. What do you want me to do? How can I help you? It's so helpful to bring back a trip report. And when I was in management, I asked for a trip report. And when I attended, I just said, I'm bringing it back. And then I had an internal meeting upon my return and shared my information, my knowledge. So ask your people, ask your peeps that you're with, hey, I'm going. What topics would you like for me to attend? What's important for us, our team?
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, absolutely. If attendees could walk away with one key benefit from the education, what do you hope it is?
The food was really good. Isn't that what you want to hear?
We hope.
I mean,
food
I
was
pick the food
great.
usually, so
It better be good.
Food was great. Christopher, what do you want them to walk away with?
That's a really good question because I want them to walk away with a lot of stuff, but I think I want them to walk away feeling supported. People attend conferences because they need support. They're getting pushback from providers, they're getting pushback from management. They need clarification because there's combating views on stuff. I want people to walk away thinking, all right, that presenter, that topic gave me exactly what I needed. I feel like I have what I need to go back and to fix some things or to improve some things or to help people in my office or my healthcare system understand this a little bit better. That's what I'm really hoping they walk away from is just feeling supported in their next efforts following up from the conference.
That's fantastic. I want them to say it was so worth it. It was worth the time. It was worth the money. It was the experience was wonderful. I don't care where the location is. There's plenty of come in a couple of days beforehand. Get to know where it is. Don't walk out of a session to go play. You can have fun all the time, but these sessions are for you. So even if during that breakout session there isn't something that speaks to you, try something new. just see what it's all about. But if you truly don't want to attend something, then network during that time. There might be someone else. But use your time wisely and say it was worth it, that you got what you wanted. And I can't agree more with Christopher. We want you to feel like you got it, you were supported. We were here for you. Your questions were answered. And if they weren't, you were networking and asking and finding some. Because sometimes it's like somebody will ask me something like, oh, Christopher is the king of that. Go find him. He's over here. He'll help you, or someone else.
That's awesome. From an attendee standpoint, because you guys have attended many health cons with us, is there a single health con or an experience that really stuck out to you that solidified what health con means to you? I know it's hard to choose just one.
I don't want it to be cut out, so I'll say something appropriate. So many experiences. My early ones, because for many, again, every health con gives me something, whether it's the location, the speakers, every health con gives me something, the networking. It's just the early ones stand out always to me because it was so fresh and new. And it was such an experience to network with people. And we would stay up till like 12 and 1 talking about work, literally networking about work because there was no social media. I hadn't talked to these people before. I didn't know them. And I have lifetime friends from this. And because the group was smaller, we went, the first time I went to Dallas, it wasn't at the Gaylord. We had a rodeo, not a rodeo, sorry. We went to a barbecue. We went out to a ranch and we learned how to two-step, and it was, so those things, but we were still talking about work. We were still networking the whole time we were out there. So those will stand out to me, the first ones. And of course, my very first one, because there was a hurricane warning and it was pretty wild having this big glass in the hotel. It was in Orlando, big glass and the wind and the trees and everything blowing. So that stood out in my mind as well.
Definitely.
For me, there are two. One was back in 2018, and it was when we went to Disneyland. And that was the first time I had ever been to Disneyland. So it was just memorable in that sense, the location, right? But I think one that just stands out was a few years ago when we went to Nashville. That was great because the topics were really good. I was really excited about the topics I was presenting on, but there were other topics that people were presenting on that I was really excited about as well. And I like that. But then I made the extra effort to go to all of the after hours things, the social in the conference center, and that was at a Gaylord as well. And that one was spectacular. And then we went to other places that, like the little excursions afterwards that the AAPC had set up. I really made a concerted effort with those. Yeah, we went downtown to Broadway.
Yeah.
And being able to
Wild Horse Saloon. We went to the
people and have fun with people just brought a new level of socializing and networking that I hadn't really experienced before. Before I was very professional. We network in a professional setting. And I just kind of said, all right, let's go hang out. And that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Just a little bit more of the social side of it. That was the first time I really tried that. And so if you're like me and you lean more towards, I stick professional, obviously always be professional when you're at a conference, but go have a little bit of fun too. And I enjoyed that.
We have some good locations coming up. We are really excited. We're going to be, Dallas this year and then DC again in 27,
so fun.
Which will be
Great
really fun.
area.
Seattle for regional this fall, which will be really fun.
I'm so excited for that property. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never been to
There's wine
Seattle.
country nearby.
Really,
Yeah.
So excited.
And where we're staying is actually on Lake Washington, not in like Seattle proper.
So
we're
pretty.
across the lake. And so it's beautiful floor to ceiling windows on every floor overlooking the lake. And then you can see the Seattle skyline across the lake. It's going to be
so
lovely.
Fun.
That's the other thing I would say to attendees about these conferences. Go enjoy the host city as well. Like it's really cool. I mean, just go and explore. My favorite thing to do in a new city is to just walk around. And so just go and see, enjoy the place. It's a great opportunity to just check out a new location that you've never been to or haven't been to in a while. I grew up in Maryland, so going back to DC, I'm really excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's good stuff.
It's a lot of fun. And walk it and ask the locals, where do they eat? What do they do?
Yeah.
Well, Jackie took us on a little tour of San Diego when we were planning for regional. So
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, good ice cream, good
Sophia and
food.
I both had sore throats during regional, and we got some local lemons from Jaci, which
yeah,
I did. I brought
I've
you
never
lemons off my
recovered from
tree.
sickness faster. Was amazing.
Yeah, San Diego was
But yeah,
fun.
that's
It
something that
was.
I think we like to incorporate into our events is an element of that city that we're in, so that even if you don't get a chance to spend time exploring the city, you at least get to experience some of it through our after hours events. So we really enjoy bringing that
Right.
aspect in.
And
So y'all
that's
do a
why
great job.
Nashville stands out for me because we went down to that Broadway area and hearing all the different locations having the music and the lights and just the vibe of the city. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well, maybe a little sneak peek into Dallas, but we're hoping to bring in some Texas themed activities on our welcome
Yay!
reception Sunday night.
Yay!
And then a little bit like Nashville, where we had some dance teachers, we're going to be doing some salsa dancing on Cinco de Mayo. So
Yay!
everyone get ready, bring your dancing shoes again.
Oh, yeah.
Should be
Bring
fun.
my boots. Oh my gosh, that's
we're excited.
fantastic. So excited. It's going to be here before you know it.
I know. We're
So
less than
excited.
90, we're less than 80 days away.
I'm
Yes.
so excited. I
So if
love
you
it.
haven't,
I better prepare my presentation.
I know. It's like, I'd have a presentation to write. Woo!
yeah. Well, is there anything else either of you want to share with anyone who'd be interested in attending HealthCon but hasn't made up their mind on whether they should or not?
What I would say this is advice that my first boss in this industry gave me was treat every day like a job interview for your next job. And so if it's something where, I mean, if you're considering other things or other areas of the country or anything like that, come to one of these conferences and treat it like a job interview. Meet people, talk to people, share with people what your skills are, connect with them on the app, connect with them in person, do all that kind of stuff. And even if you're not open to that kind of stuff, just come and meet other people in the industry to get that support that I was talking about earlier. Conferences are a great place to learn new things or confirm that what you're doing is correct. And so if you're on the fence, just come on over, come hang out with us, come learn some new things and network.
It's true. Come say howdy in Texas, in Dallas. Come on over. I think Christopher summed it up perfectly. It's an incredible opportunity, and you get out of it what you put into it. And if you want to put in the time, energy, and effort, we'll give you the education, the fun, and the networking.
Thanks for tuning in to the AAPC podcast as we continue to count down the conferences. Huge thank you to Jaci Kipreos and Christopher Chandler for joining us and sharing what's ahead for HealthCon 2020.
We're just getting started, so be sure to stay tuned as we continue the countdown. In the meantime, head to aapc.com/events to see what's coming up next.
Until then, keep the countdown going, stay inspired, and we'll catch you on the next episode.